Welcome everyone for data analytics webinar. And today we will be focusing on why we use data analytics and what is the use of data analytics and what are the future prospects and job opportunities in data analytics, right? So let's move on to first slide. Why data is important? Data is quite important in today's world because data gives us a lot of insights, data gives us a lot of valuable information. So these are few lines said by Tim Berners said, data is a precious thing and will last longer than the system themselves, because we can make a lot of decisions based on data. We can we can change the strategies of organizations based on data. So data is quite important, and you must be surprised to know that according to IBM, it we generated 2.5 billion gigabytes data every day in 2012, and that is going to be double each year. So you can imagine by 2020 we have a huge amount of data, and we can derive a lot of information, a lot of patterns from this data. So today we'll be covering what is data analytics, basic type of data analytics, how to do data analytics, and its impact of on different businesses, its and how to use different tools like Excel and Tableau for data analytics, and popular employers and job opportunities in data analytics course. So what is data analytics? So data analytics is the science of drawing insights from raw data. So it is generally used by many organizations to draw patterns, to draw insights from the data, and this insights is generally used to make decisions by the management, by the organizations, right? So data is very important in today's world. So data analytics is something like we can make sense of data, right? So different type of data analytics. So generally we have four types of basic data analytics, like descriptive analytics, where we want to describe what has happened previously. So we are not going to make any future predictions based on this. This is just like to describe the things what has happened. Next we have predictive analytics, where we are going to predict about the future, what is going to happen. So what is likely to happen, and how much percentage of sale, how much sale we are getting in current month, or maybe in future months, based on the historical sales pattern. Diagnostic analytics. In diagnostic analytics, we focus on why something has happened. If the sale is increased in any particular month, why it is increased, and if the sale is decreased in any month, why it is decreased. So there may be some reason, there may be some pattern, there may be some seasonality effect that is working behind that. Based on that, sale is decreased. Like generally what happens, the sale increases during the festival seasons, right? So diagnostic analytics. Prescriptive analytics, this is the fourth type of analytics, is prescriptive analytics, where we focus on suggesting the things like what should we do based on the historical data, based on the pattern, based on the diagnosis, what action should we perform, what should we do. So that is prescriptive analytics. So generally we have four types of analytics: descriptive analytics, just to describe what has happened; predictive, just that is used to forecast the things that is likely to happen in the future; diagnostic analytics, where something has happened; and prescriptive analytics, that suggests the future course of action. So when we do data analytics, we analyze the historical data, we create different equations, we create different models, and we implement those models on the live data to identify whether our model is performing well, or model is able to predict the things well or not, or we need to change the model, or we need to change the strategies of making this model. And after that we implement that model, and this process goes on Like we try to improve the model and enhance the model. So this cycle goes on. So first of all, what we do we identify the data and we clean the data and we analyze data and the patterns in that data, and based on that data we create different models, and those model are tested on the live data as well. Generally we follow 60-40 ratio. So we create model on 60% of data, 60% of historical data, and we implement or we try to identify whether this model is perfect or not on the rest of 40% data, whether this model is performing well this 40% data or not. And once we are sure, then we can implement that model on future data as well. That is model development. So when we predict the future value, we can use that model, and based on the comparison of like the existing data and the future values. I mean, for example, we have predicted the sales of future months. Let's say we have predicted the sales for August. So once we are gone through August, we will try to identify the gap between the predicted value and the actual value, and based on that, we can try to enhance that model. And this process continues forever, right? So this is how data analytics work. So in data analytics, we use data from different systems, whether we are using data warehouse, whether we are using flat files, whether we are using some other systems to implement the data, and we pull the data from there and so them make some analysis, do some analysis on that, make some graphs and presentations, and based on that analysis, we perform some like exploratory analysis to draw insights from the data, and we build models and implement those models in product engineering. So this is how like data engineer works on the basic level of the data, like how data is stored in the system, how data is completed or uploaded, and what would be the time frame when the data will be uploaded in the system. And data analytics work on all these parts, like extracting data, analyzing the data, and like creating different patterns, drawing insights, building models, and implementing these models. So this is the part of data analyst. So here our work, I mean our profiles come into picture, where we are like analyzing the data in different ways and drawing some insights. What are the benefits of data analytics? So data analytics helps us in different ways, like how to make better decisions. In real life as well, we do a lot of data analysis. When we go shopping, we do a lot of analysis on the things like what what's what kind of clothes should I buy, uh, what kind of like let's say brand should I go after, what kind of prices are they offering the clothes on. So we do a lot of analysis in real life as well. Data analytics helps us in decision making, better enhancement of key strategic initiatives, better relationship with the customers. So we do a lot of analysis on customer as well, whether the customer is happy or not, and he has some suggestions, and kind of uh, what kind of what kind of sentiments he has for any product that we have launched in the market recently. So it can help us to how to sense the risk, if there is any risk with any product, how to identify the risk related to any product, and better financial performance. So data analytics helps us in a lot of different ways. So how does it impact a business? So data analytics is used in different domains, and they can help us in a number of ways in all these domains. Like in finance domain, the data analytics can help us to identify the fraud detection, credit risk and assessments, improve credit rating, and provide more accurate pricing to the customers. So generally what the organization does before launching any product, they do a lot of analysis. They do analysis of related to competitive product related to the price of the product, and what should be the correct price so that the the product is available in the market on competitive price, and the company should gain the optimum profit on that product. It is used in healthcare as well for diagnosing different disease, medical image processing, and improve fraud detection. So how fraud detection happens in healthcare? Generally, the patients have communication and have a relationship with doctors. They can submit false claim to the organization and get money from the organization, and that money is divided between the doctor and the patient. So this is how fraud detection is happen in the health market as well. So to improve fraud detection and to remove these kind of things, generally fraud detection methods are used and data analytics are used to identify those frauds. It is used in CRM as well. So when we go on any CRM website, generally we see a chat box over there. So that is chatbot. Churn predictions. Churn prediction is the customer attrition rate. So what kind of attrition rate is available? Why the churn rate is so high, and in which in any particular month the churn rate may be high. So generally it is used for churn prediction, attrition rate control as well, and to evaluate customer satisfaction, whether the customer is satisfied or not. So generally we send customer different kind of surveys, and based on the answers provided in those survey, we can use different analytics tools to identify how much percentage of the customers are happy with the product, or what we should do I mean, to implement their the things they are expecting. And it is generally used in e-commerce systems as well, to recommend systems. So generally what we see when we go on Amazon and for the first time, and for example, let's say I search for any mobile device, and I left that page, I left that website. So generally when I go on the website, the Amazon.com, the next time Amazon will show me a different kind of offers available on the mobile phones. That is how. So what they do, they just try to identify if the customer is interested in this product or in that product, and based on that, once they identify that the customer is interested in mobile phone, then they create some specialized advertisements or offers, and that is generally shown when we generally log on to Amazon. So forecasting demands is generally used when we are maintaining the inventory of something. So we can based on the historical pattern, we can forecast what would be the demand, what is likely to be the demand in the next coming months or in the next coming season. In e-commerce, we can by using data analytics, the organizations, for example, the retailers create personalized stores. So in that store, they have all the items the customer is interested in. For example, the customer has searched for like Pampers first time, and then mobile phones. So they create a kind of store. They create different kind of players, or like advertisements or messages related to the discount on these items. Those has been searched by the customer. Except that when we launch a new price in the market, so generally sentimental analysis is done. Sentimental analysis is does generally done for any product to identify how the product is performing in the market, whether the customers are happy or not with this product, and whether the customers are happy with the price and the services of this product. So sentimental analysis is done for that. So for that, we generally pick up the social media data, and we would perform some statistical analysis, but and we comes up with the final outcome, whether the customer is happy or not, what percentage of customer is happy, like this. So data analytics is used in sentimental analysis as well. Okay, we will come up with the question and answers sessions later. Once I finish with all these kind of things, we can come up, we'll have a question and answer session for that. Right then we'll answer these questions. Data analytics is used in production as well, to identify the quality and defects in the product. And forecasting, again, we can do forecasting in manufacturing industry. We can do forecasting in finance, CRM, and e-commerce industry. So forecasting is used everywhere. We can do forecasting related to the number of employees required to do some work. So all these kind of things are done by using data analytics. In marketing and sales as well, we use data analytics to create segmentation of customers. So generally, when we are creating some plans, when we are creating the discount offers for all the customers, we cannot create individual offer for each customer. So we'll cover all these questions later in the question and answer sessions. Once I'm done with all things, we'll answer your questions during that time. So we have separate session for that. We have a fixed allotted time to cover all your questions. So we'll cover question and answer sessions as well. So I was on segmentation. So what the organization, the retailers do to increase sales, they they create different segments. They create different groups of customers, and based on their age, based on their family background, their educational level, their financials. So they create some clusters, they group of customers, and based on that groups we implement the strategy. So let's say if a retail store has 1000 customer, a real number maybe more than that, but just for example I'm taking 1000. So it will be quite difficult to make 1000 business plan, 1000 marketing plans for individual customers. So generally we divide the customers into different groups, and based on that groups we create different plans. Let's say we can divide all 1000 customers in 5 or 6 groups, and then we can implement the business strategies based on those 5 groups. So this the customer grouping is done based on by using their like data, historical data, and their like as I said before, their demographic information, their age, their family income, all these kind of things, and we can implement the strategy. We can create different strategies to enhance our business, enhance our sales. Lead predictions. So predicting the future prospect customers, we can use data analytics, cross-selling and upselling. So cross-selling is what when we have a customer, for example, he is getting some product A from us, so we get to know that this customer may be interested in product B, so we can try to upsell or we can try to cross sell product B as well to that customer. So generally we can use data analytics methods, analytics strategies to increase our sale by using cross selling or upselling. Customer lifetime values, generally in sales what we does, so what how much value, how much dollar value we have got from any customer. To identify that, we can use data analytics strategies to identify customer lifetime values and retention analytics as well. So here we can use the different strategies to retain customers. For example, like if you are a customer of an organization getting a product A, and you are not using that product that much, so they can try to identify that this customer is not using our product, though he is paying a lot of amount, this number of amount to us, and based on that they can identify that this customer is at the higher rate of attrition. So generally they try to contact that customer and try to identify whether the customer is facing any difficulty with the product, or he is interested in some other product of the similar kind, or maybe with better benefits. So retention analytics is again help us to retain the customers. Data analytics is used in logistic as well for demand forecasting, route optimization. Route optimization is generally when we send different products to customers. So generally we can use a number of route to send those products to the customers. But what we can do by route optimization, we can find the optimum path. We can find the shortest path so that we can send that product to the customers quickly. Inventory management again, we can use the data analytics. We can use data analytics in advertisement, pharmaceutical pharmaceutical industries, like visualizing different things, visualizing their effects and drug discovery analytics. So there are n number of fields where we can use data analytics, right? And there are n number of organizations, many organizations, those are offering a lot of job opportunities on data analytics, whether that is health, in healthcare domain, or in e-commerce industry, or in logistic domain. So data analytics is available everywhere because, and in recent years, for example, starting from 2012, the job opportunity in data analytics is increased a lot. So the organizations are offering a good packages for data analytics job as well. So let's look at how data analytics is useful in sales for different kind of things. Like in data analytics, as I discussed in the previous slide as well, can be used to generate leads, and like lead scoring, what percentage of, I mean, how much the lead would be going to be effective and match the people requirement. Generally in sales we have a big challenge if we are not able to map the customer's requirement. So fulfilling their requirement, we use data analytics. We can use data analytics for people management and talent management as well. So in sales again, maximizing customer lifetime value and cross-selling or upselling different products to the existing customers, and churn productions, and that is, and the price fixing or the setting of the price of an item is again very challenging task for the organizations, because we have the similar kind of products in the market and they are offering the services on very competitive price. So generally we have to do data analytics. We have to analyze the data, we have to analyze the products like offered by the organization, those are our competitors, and then we need to set our price based on that. So it is used in sales a lot. And what are the different applications of data analytics where the data analytics can be used? We have three questions. How could we get this teaching PPT for further study? Okay, so you will cover all these questions. So let me go through some applications of data analytics, where data analytics has been implemented and what profit we have got from implementing data analytics. Like for example, in criminal investigations, finding the backpacker killer. So in Australia, there was a notorious killer, who backpacker killer. His name was Ivan Millet, and he has murdered a lot of people. So generally, what it was quite difficult to identify and to find him. So what police did, police created his profile based on his characteristics, based on his features, and then the police investigated the data set, identify the characteristics that he has. For example, they have investigated in the data set of vehicle records, gym membership, gun licensing, and police records to identify him. And what they, by doing that, they came up, I mean, narrowed down the list from 10 million to 32 people, and it was quite easy to identify him in the list of 32 people instead of going through the whole data of 10 million. So here we can use data analytics. So that is the name of course, the data analytics for managers. That is the name of course. So we have two different courses for that. You can opt any one of them. That is not an issue. So if you are a system engineer, you can get some experience or exposure to data analytics as well, so that you can understand how data analytics is working and how you can implement the data analytics techniques in your current job as well. I have another example how Walmart use data analytics and how they gain benefit by using data analytics and like changing their store structure or like arranging the items in their store. So data in Walmart, we have 5,000 store in 15 countries. And so now the big question was in front of them, how to identify the trends in customer behavior. So for that, what they did, they applied some statistical technique for that. They have gone through the data because they are collecting a lot of data in their daily work processing. They have the data based on demographic of the customer, based on their behavior, based on their age, income, all these kind of things. So they identify the trend in the data set, and they found out something unusual. People who buy gin were also likely to buy lemon, so that was expected behavior. But another thing, they identify that young males who buy nappies also likely to buy beer. So that was unusual combination out there, because nappies and beer, there was no combination between both of them. So what they did, they try to identify they dig that information further in the data set they had available, and they did analytics techniques to identify what's happening with that, and they come up with a surprising situation or their surprising conclusion over there. So generally, what they found, the young males generally go drinking with their mates on Friday nights, and they prefer beer for that. Young males only buy nappies after they have children. So that was another thing they found out by looking at the data set by doing data analytics. And generally, if you have children, you cannot go outside for Friday night party. So what males generally do, because it is there is no harm having dinner at home, so they generally buy dinners when they on Friday with the other things too, for example like nappies. So what was the conclusion over there? So the conclusion was there that if they change the structure of their store a bit, for example if they put nappies with the beer, so that may give a lot of ease to the customer to buy nappies with the beer. And with that, what happened, for the coming times, their sale of nappies and beer increased a lot, especially on Friday. So that was the conclusion of the story, and that's how Walmart used data analytics to change the structure of their store and gain profit for that. So generally in retail industry, if we use a lot of data analytics techniques. So that is called association rules. Associations rule, or it is called by another name, that is market basket analysis. So in market basket analysis, we try to identify and try to check the association of different items. For example, if a customer is buying eggs and he is buying breads as well. So what are the chances if a new customer comes up after buying eggs, he will be buying breads as well. So based on that, the retail customers, retail organizations generally, what they do a lot of analysis on the data, and based on that analysis, they come up with solutions that if the customer is buying this product, then that there is a high probability and this much probability, let's say 80%, 85% of probability of buying another product as well. So based on that conclusion, they arrange their store, right? And that works for these retail organization well, that increase their sales drastically. And generally what they do, they can provide the offers as well on the bundle of these two items, in those customer is interested, highly interested to buy them together. So they generally provide bundles of offers on those products on low cost to increase the sales. So how data analytics is done in market analysis. So in market analysis, data analytics can be done by to identify credit card transactions, credit card fraud, and data analytics can be used in loyalty cards, discount coupons, customer complaint, social media and lifestyle studies as well. Generally, what we do, find the clusters of the customers who share the same characteristics, same interest, income level, spending habits, etc. And data analytics can be used to determine customer purchase over a time. Generally, banks use that thing. They try to identify the patterns in the use of bank accounts as well, and it is used for correlation between product sales, that is association or market basket analysis. So how the sale of two products are correlated with each other. If the sale of one product increases, what is the probability that the sale of another product is also going to increase? Based on the past sales, the association information, we can predict the future sale as well based on that information. Customer profile. So generally, data analytics is used in customer profiling as well. So for that, we generally have two algorithms, that is classification and clustering. So we can create different clusters. Clusters are just groups based on the characteristics of the customers, and we can classify the customer based on the existing group. Identifying customer requirements. Based on the customer data, we can identify their requirements by using different statistical or data analytics techniques, and we can create summary of the customers based on their information. So how data analytics is used in risk analytics or corporate analysis. So generally, data analytics is used in cash flow analysis and predictions of cash flows, sectional or time series analysis. So time series analysis is generally used in the sales to identify the future sales, or to what is likely to happen in the next coming months, how much sales are likely we are getting for different products. We can use data analytics for resource planning, how much resources are required for competition as well, to identify, to do analytics on competitors and their products and their pricing. I mean, what should be the exact price to be highly competitive in the market. So these are some applications of data analytics where we can use data analytics for detection as well. Fraud detection can be used in like healthcare industry, retail, credit card services, and telecommunications. Data analytics can be done in auto insurance and money laundering as well. Money laundering is generally uh, when any customer try to accumulate a lot of money, and that can be used for suspicious activities, suspicious transactions. So that can be identified, that can be gauged by using data analytics. So here is we have how to detect fraud. So in fraud detection, what is does we have data available in data warehouse. So generally we pull the required data from there to analyze that data and to create different rules based on the historical usage of the data. After we have the associations rules, we can identify the relationship. We can use if else pattern to analyze whether that pattern was available in the data earlier, or that pattern was available earlier. uh, then again, the organizations discuss with the customers that if this transaction is the legitimate transaction or not, and based on that information they go contact with the customers, and after that they comes up the solution whether that transaction is legitimate or not. So generally what happens, like let's say the example of banking domain, if they try to identify the patterns in the historical transactions, and based on that patterns, if any new transaction or any suspicious transactions comes up, then the employees or the analysts sitting at the bank side generally uh, raise an alarm, and based on that they try to identify try to contact with the customers and try to identify whether this new transaction, that was unusual transaction, is legitimate or not, or whether they should go ahead with the transaction or not. So based on the customer approval, they they go in the right direction. So this is how fraud detection can be done. Another thing in retail industry, like they have a lot of frauds, like customer generally order a product, and when they receive a product they generally deny, or like something, they like uh, take the box of the product, but they generally say that they got the product empty. So the fraud detection is done in the retail industry as well. So first of all, what they do, they generally try to identify whether the address of the customer is legitimate or not. For example, they analyze the address. For example, like if they have the correct pin code available there, they have the address mentions in their request is correctly logical or not. For example, if they have given the address of a particular city, if that city contains the same pin code or uh, same landmark or not. So they generally do a lot of analytics on address as well, and based on the behavior of the customer, like the historical sale of the customer, when they have some sales related to one customer, so those sales are stored as a transaction in the database of the retail organizations. They do analytics on the transactions for that particular customer and try to identify whether this customer has a positive relationship with the organization, or he has done some fraud earlier as well. So that is how they try to detect. Now, data analytics can be fit in any business, and how they can fit. So first of all, we need to understand the business requirement, what we are trying to accomplish, right? So before doing that and any analytics, we need to focus on the business. We need to understand the business first. Then the requirement that is available on the business, in the business questions, we need to try to change those questions in data analytics questions, right? So based on those questions, we can collect information, collect data from different departments and from different people in the organizations, and we can build models and evaluate them and try to identify whether this model is performing well, this model is working well or not. And this is going to be iterative process in the future. So this is how data analytics can be fit in any business. So first of all, we need to identify the business questions, then we need to change the business things, and we need to add data analytics with the business. And based on the data analytics, based on those things, we need to collect data, we need to start analyzing data. we can do we can do like descriptive analytics, predictive analytics, or we can use diagnostic analytics as well. And based on that information, we can create different models and try to implement those models. So generally in industries, when we create a model, first we try to implement that model the historical data as well. So we have 60-40 percentage ratio. We try to build a model on 60% of data. Let's say we have 1000 transaction of the in the data set that we are trying to analyze. We can divide that data in two parts, like 60% of data, 600 transactions, we try to analyze. We try to build different models on those 600 transactions, and once we come up a model, we try to implement those models on rest 40% of data, 400 transactions. And based on that, we get how much successful and is the model is good, and whether it is predicting on high accuracy, and what is the percentage of accuracy the model is predicting on. So that is the kind of approach is generally followed in the industry. So we have two approach for data analytics. So that is the part of like machine learning. In machine learning, we have two approach: supervised learning methods and unsupervised learning methods. So supervised learning method is where we already have the labels in the historical data. We have the data set and we have the labels themselves, and we know that we need to try to fit the new data based on these labels in any of the existing labels. So for that, we use supervised learning methods, and unsupervised learning methods is used when we don't have any labels. We have just the historical data as well. We have the clusters of data, and we can create the labels as well. So in this course, I mean, we have two such type of courses. We will be using all these kind of approaches, different algorithms. Let's say for supervised learning, we have algorithms like classifications and linear regressions, and for unsupervised learning, we have clustering, that maybe k-mean clustering, hierarchical clusterings, and associations rules. Here we have given an example of machine learning, that is classifications, like we have the data of humidity and temperature, and we are going to predict whether there is going to be rain or not. So for that we have built a decision tree. If the humidity is greater than 72, then there is a high chance of rain, and if the humidity is less than 72, there won't be any rain. So this is how the decision tree is created. So generally, decision tree is the supervised learning method. That is the example of that. A common career path for data analytics. So what are the different kind of careers we can have in data analytics? We have different careers based on the experience, based on the knowledge, based on their educational background. For data analytics can be operation manager, operational team leader, business analyst. They can be general manager at senior level, senior business analyst, operation manager, and assistant operations manager. So these are the different kind of tasks. These are the different kind of roles a data analyst can have, or the people with these roles must have the understanding of data. What we can say in the reverse order, if anyone is operation manager, so we expect that he must be very good understanding of data, he must be very good understanding of analysis of the data, different kind of techniques, different kind of algorithms, those are available for data analyst. So in this course we have, let's say, two types of course. One, we are using Excel because Excel is widely used in the industry for data analysts. So we have different like machine learning algorithms running on Excel, different analysis, those can be done on Excel. So Excel provides a lot of different things, like they provides sorting functions, filters, conditional formatting, different kind of charts, what if analysis, and tool packs for doing data analytics. So we can enhance, we can leverage all these things, like analysis tool packs provide functionality of like regression, clustering, and we can use solver for finding the optimum solutions. So data and Excel is widely used and it is easily available. So that's why Excel would be the best fit for this. So in this course, we have one tool, that is Excel, and we are analyzing data on Excel. We have Tableau as well, because Tableau is greatly used for data visualization. We can create different kind of graphs and charts, different kind of analysis, what if analysis with a few clicks on Tableau. So this is again another tool for data analytics. We can easily do segmentation, clustering, or cohort analysis on Tableau. We can do a lot of what if analysis. We can forecast the future value in Tableau. We can predict the future sale as well based on the historical data by using different kind of models. Either that can be linear model, polynomial model, and another very good thing is we can integrate R as well in Tableau. So this is one of the best tool for data visualization that is available in the market. So we'll be using Excel and Tableau for the course, that is Data Analytics for Manager, and we have another tool in that another course that will be like data analytics using R and Tableau and Excel. We'll be using Tableau, Excel, and R for data analytics as well. Tableau is quite fast. We can integrate Tableau with any kind of data warehouse. We can integrate, we can add Tableau with any kind of like flat file. We can connect it with access file, we can connect it with SQL data warehouse and online database like CRM. We can connect it with Salesforce. We can connect data from there and start analyzing using Tableau. So Tableau is widely used in the industry. Like job opportunities in data analytics. So data analytics is one of the areas where the job is increasing year by year. Like as per the recent McKinsey study, done by McKinsey Global Institution, that we have approximately 500,000 requirements of data analytics by 2008. We'll be requiring 500,000 data analysts, and during that time we'll have a shortage of around 190,000 jobs in data analytics. 190,000 data analytics. So this is the trend how the jobs opportunities are available in data analysis, because it is steep increase and like going up day by day. So let's say that this is available till 2016. It is going up. If we imagine, it is going up in the same direction. Steep increase in 2017 and 18 as well. Popular employer of data analytics. We have a lot of different organizations. Those are hiring data data analysts. Like we have Sigma in Bangalore, Accenture, Infosys, Capgemini, Genpact. So there is a huge requirement of data analysts over there in these organizations. We have Deloitte, EY, AOL, WNS. So these are the different popular employer of data analysts. So if anyone want to change the career or want to move into data analyst field, so what is the starting point for that? So for them, they have to get the understanding of the data analyst and try to identify the organizations those are offering jobs in data analysts and choose the right tools and right kind of profile for that, and proactively learn the new things those are available in the market. So these are the different continuous learning on the in the field of data analytics, in the field of how to analyze the data, and different kind of tools those are available. So these are the two different courses, like data analytics certification course with R, Excel, and Tableau. So in this course, that is extensively learning on R, especially, and Excel, and data visualization on Tableau. Another course, that is data analytics for managers, that we have Excel, machine learning on Excel, and Tableau. Syllabus includes, like, in data analytics for managers, we have functions, pivot tables, dashboarding, machine learning techniques like clustering, classification, regression, and time series analysis on Excel. We, we have VBA macros, and we have Tableau, data visualization using Tableau, creating different dashboards and analyzing the data, doing different kind of analysis like clustering, like time series analysis in Tableau. In this course, data analytics certification course in R, Excel, and Tableau, we have R, statistical probability models in R, different algorithms, time series forecasting again, using SQL. This course we have some sessions of SQL as well. Just generally we store data in SQL, how to pull the data using different queries, using advanced functions in SQL, and data analyzing using Excel, and again data visualizing using Tableau, and projects and case study on R, Excel, and SQL, and Tableau as well. So these are the two different courses those are available for data and analytics. This course is specially designed for managers who have the experience already, 8 to 10 years of experience, or maybe more than that. And for this course, you don't need to have the background in stats or in mathematics. You just have the basic understanding of the data and how to do the basic things in Excel, and they must have some basic understanding of Excel as well. And we have a number of things over here in Excel for analyzing data. For this course, because this is an R, so again, this is for this course as well. You must not have a deep understanding of statistical things. Because in R we have already created algorithm. We just need to use algorithm, and we just need to know how to interpret the results. So those we have got by running those algorithms. So we have in Excel again, we have with different data analytical analytics tools like one variable table, two variable tables in different scenarios, what if analysis, solver, in Tableau as well, how to connect to different data sets in Tableau, starting using visualizing the things like creating dashboards, creating interactive dashboards, using parameters, views. So all these kind of things are available in these two courses. So it was nice having you all here, and thank you very much, everyone. Have a great day ahead.
Acadgild. Average is dead.